All right, let's talk about something that drives so many California nonprofits crazy. We're going to try and solve this frustrating puzzle, why getting a grant in this state can feel way more complicated than it needs to be.
You know the feeling, right? It's that sinking pit in your stomach. You've worked so hard, you filed the paperwork, and your online status clearly says active. You pour your heart into a grant application you're sure is a winner, and then you get that rejection letter. Not because of your mission, but because of some compliance technicality. It is absolutely maddening, and believe me, it happens all the time.
So where does this all go wrong? Well, it usually starts with this one big, widespread myth. So many organizations, especially if they're new to the grant-seeking game, think that if you've got your 501c3 letter from the IRS and you see active on the Secretary of State website, you're golden. But here in California, nope, that's just scratching the surface. And believing that myth can be a really costly misunderstanding. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain. The reason for all this complexity really boils down to California's unique regulatory setup. To be considered fully compliant here, it's not just one agency you have to keep happy, it's a whole team of them.
And this is the absolute key to understanding everything. When a grant maker in California goes to check if you're active, they are not just looking at one website. What they're actually doing is running a multi-step verification process that stretches across several different government agencies, and each one has its own rulebook.
4. That's the magic number. Most of the big funders in California, we're talking foundations, county programs, you name it, they are checking with 4 distinct agencies before they'll even think about cutting a check. Your good standing has to be a green light with all 4 of them. And here's the lineup. You've got the big one, the federal IRS, of course, but then you have California's own trio, the Secretary of State, which just wants to know that your corporation legally exists. Then there's the Franchise Tax Board, which is all about your state tax exemption. And finally, the Attorney General's Registry, which makes sure you're legally allowed to ask for donations. Each one is a different gatekeeper, and that's exactly why funders check them all. It's how they manage their own risk.
You know, the easiest way to picture all this is what I call the California Compliance Triangle. Think of your federal IRS status as the solid foundation you build everything on. But to be truly ready for grants in California, you've got to build this 3-sided triangle on top of that foundation. Each point of the triangle is one of those key state agencies, and you've got to be in good standing with all 3 at the same time.
So how do you manage this triangle so you're always ready to go? Let's break down exactly what that funder's 4-point check looks like from your side.
Okay, look at this. This table lays it all out perfectly. Down at the bottom, the very foundation of your house is your IRS 501c3 status. Then, built on top of that, you have the 3 sides of your California compliance triangle. The Secretary of State for your legal entity status, the Franchise Tax Board for your state tax exemption, and the Attorney General for your right to fundraise. A funder only truly sees you as active and ready when all 4 of these are checked, current, and in good standing.
You see, this is where the wires get crossed. It's a huge perception gap. As a nonprofit leader, you see the word active and you think, awesome, my organization legally exists, we're good. But a funder? They look at that same word and they need it to mean something much bigger, that your organization is compliant with every single federal and state law governing your existence, your taxes, and your fundraising activities, the whole shebang.
All right, enough theory, let's get practical and move from understanding the problem to actually solving it. What should be in your grant-ready toolkit? What do you need to do before you even start typing that next application?
Here it is. This should be your new pre-grant ritual. Seriously, before you apply for anything, just take 10 minutes and go to these 4 websites. First, hop on the IRS's TEOS database to verify your federal status. Second, do a quick search for your business on the California Secretary of State site. Third, look yourself up on the Franchise Tax Board's list of exempt organizations. And finally, double-check that you're current on the Attorney General's Registry search. This little audit will save you from so many headaches later.
And while you're at it, get these 5 things together in one digital folder. Call it your Grant Ready Kit or something. You need your IRS determination letter, a certificate of good standing from the Secretary of State, your exemption confirmation from the Franchise Tax Board, your AG registration number, and, this is a big one, your most recent tax filings for all 3 agencies. That's your Form 990 for the IRS, Form 199 for the FTB, and the RRF-1 for the AG. Having these ready to go will make you so much faster and more confident.
So you can see the crucial point here, right? This isn't about scrambling to find documents a week before a deadline. It's about a fundamental shift in how your organization approaches compliance altogether.
This is the mindset that separates the groups that are always stressed from the ones that are always funded. The most successful nonprofits don't see compliance as a chore to check off a list. They treat it as a constant state of being. It's about moving away from that frantic, reactive, oh no, something's wrong, problem solving, to a calm, confident state of proactive readiness.
And if there's just one thing you take away from all of this today, let it be this. Grant readiness isn't an event you cram for, like a final exam. It is a system you build, a process you maintain inside your organization that ensures you are always, always ready for the next great opportunity.
So I'll just leave you with that one final question to think about. As you get ready for that next big funding opportunity, take a hard look at your own processes and ask yourself, is your compliance system just a checklist you deal with once a year, or is it truly built to win?